It is a busy night here on SportsCentre because now let's get to some breaking news from Manchester United. Now the club has confirmed that Ruud van Nistelrooy has indeed left the club following his spell as interim manager. Now Sani Rudvajala is at Carrington for us now. Good to see you, Sani. So look, of course, it was his last game in charge, wasn't it, yesterday? Ruben Amorim has arrived and now Ruud has gone. He's made his mark, hasn't he? What more can you tell us?
Yeah, so Ruud van Nistelrooy, who took in charge of Manchester United for these 4 games as interim boss, has left Manchester United. He was at Carrington this morning and left fairly early, and that was the first indicator that we had that something could be happening. Of course, when I say first indicator, there are a couple more as well. We saw his kind of emotional scenes at full time in that 3-0 win against Leicester. He was over at the Stretford end with all the hardcore Man United fans, and the scenes there were quite emotional for him. You know, he's got a great connection to the club as a striker, where he scored 150 goals, left in somewhat acrimonious circumstances to Real Madrid, but then made amends with Sir Alex Ferguson, who was the manager at the time. And yeah, in that time, Premier League, FA Cup, League Cup, Community Shields, 2-time Player of the Year. So as a player, certainly he was well respected. He's come in as an interim coach. Originally, he was here as a coach under Erik ten Hag this summer. And then when ten Hag left, Van Nistelrooy took it over, winning 3 games, drawing the 1. And yeah, the club today, just a few minutes ago, tweeting that him along with 3 other coaches have left the club. We thank you for your unwavering commitment to our club, is what Man United say. They say Ruud is and always will be a Manchester United legend. We are grateful for his contribution and the way in which he approached his role throughout his time with the club. He will always be welcome at Old Trafford. So Ruud van Nistelrooy leaves along with coaches René Hacker, Jelle ten Rouwelaar and Pieter Morrell. So they've all departed, and the club say they wish them well with their future. So Ruud van Nistelrooy, 150 goals in 219 games between 2001 and 2006. This interim spell as manager before Ruben Amorim comes in, but his time at Manchester United is now at an end, and perhaps we might see him back in a dugout soon. He was the PSV manager before coming into United as a coach, and he certainly has well, if there was any acrimony in his departure, he certainly reignited all the love from Manchester United fans here, but his time at United is at an end.
Yes, Sani, look, it looked like from his managerial notes yesterday in the programme notes that it was a bit of a farewell from him. We heard early in the week, though, didn't we, that the players wanted him to stay, so it seems a strange turn of events.
Yeah, on the one hand, yeah, you could say that, and perhaps one could argue that having Van Nistelrooy as some sort of link to United's heritage, and then that link to the players, and whether they'd want some sort of handover to the new manager. There's an argument you could have him there. But equally, Ruben Amorim, we know, is bringing in a host of coaches along with him. He's got good connections already as far as with the people he's been working with at the club already. We saw him hugging Omar Barada, who's one of the directors at the club, and meeting Dan Ashworth and Jason Wilcox today. So certainly there's a hierarchy around the club who clearly feel that they can do that handing over process that perhaps Van Nistelrooy could have done. So, yeah, on the one hand, you could say it's a bit surprising that Van Nistelrooy's going. On the other, you could say that Ruben Amorim's his own man and wants his own people in, and Van Nistelrooy isn't necessarily, well, he isn't one of Amorim's own man, and that's why one of the reasons why he's not going to be there. So, on the one hand, surprising, but on the other hand, we can kind of see the reasons behind it.
And in terms, just finally on Ruud van Nistelrooy, we'll talk a bit about Amorim in just a second, but in terms of Ruud van Nistelrooy, what does he do now? Does he seek to get a #1 job, do you feel?
Well, that's really interesting, isn't it? Because he was the manager of PSV, kind of left on the penultimate game of the season 2 seasons ago, when he was manager there in the Eredivisie, and was on the verge of guiding them to second place in the league. So he has that pedigree behind him. I think there were few clubs he would have gone to as an assistant or as a #2. Man United has a real special place in his heart, which would have certainly been part of the element of why he would do that. I mean, there'll be some United fans out there thinking, well, look at how well he's done as an interim, manager here, winning those 3 games, the draw against Chelsea in the Premier League and then the win yesterday. Could he ever have been the main man at Old Trafford here? Perhaps that's something for him in the future. And if that is the case, then going away and becoming a manager elsewhere again in his own right will be the next course for him. So, yeah, Van Nistelrooy, very emotional, as you mentioned in the programme as well. We saw those scenes as well. So he's got that connection. Never say never, but for now it's all about Ruben Amorim. And for Van Nistelrooy, we'll have to wait and see where he may pop up next as a manager himself in his own right again.
Yes, and as you said, it is all about Ruben Amorim. He's taken charge of his very first day at Manchester United then. What's he been up to?
Well, yes, so he has been meeting club officials today. Omar Barada, the sporting director, being one of them, along with Jason Wilcox and the rest of the staff as well there. And he is still actually having to await the final parts of his visa to be sorted. So at the moment he can hold meetings and meet key officials and key members of the staff, which is what he's been doing at Carrington today. He can't yet take coaching though until the final parts of his visa is done. But by all accounts, that's for one, that's a thing that happens every time whenever in the post-Brexit age a foreign national comes to the UK to work. They need to do those final parts in the country, so he's got to do that final bit in the UK, and once he's done that he can coach, and that by all accounts should be quite a quick process. So we could see him on the training ground taking training or doing the coaching side of that role that he wants to be doing very soon as well.
OK, Sani, brilliant from you. Thank you very much.